Hey guys, welcome back to another video about the issues in our world. In this video, we will talk about poverty and clarify assumptions surrounding this topic. So please make sure that you are subscribed so that you don't miss out on future content. And without further ado, let's get straight into the video. Poverty is a condition in which a person or community lacks the financial resources and basic necessities needed to meet their basic needs for survival, such as food, shelter, clothing, and healthcare. This problem is surprisingly common around the world, with over 1.3 billion people in moderate poverty, defined as living on between $2.15 and $3.20 per day. This accounts for a staggering 16% of the population, meaning roughly 1 in 8 people lives in poverty. 700 million people live in extreme poverty, defined as living under $2.15 a day. For comparison, the average American lives on over $100 a day. Sadly, children and adolescents under the age of 18 make up over half of the population experiencing poverty. The living conditions of those under the poverty line are extremely bad because of the lack of resources, especially when environmental factors and inflation are taken into account. Additionally, poverty is the root cause of or exacerbates many other social issues like food insecurity, conflict, wealth inequality, and political instability, since money is necessary for any action to be taken. However, poverty levels worldwide have been decreasing in the 21st century due to efforts made by nations worldwide and the development of the civilized world. Although hindered by the pandemic and climate change, poverty reduction is still expected to continue. Poverty is most prevalent in areas such as places in Asia, Latin America, and Africa that have high population growth but slow economic growth due to increasing demand for resources but a lack of supply. Poverty is also widespread in regions plagued by conflict and fragility in terms of resources, government, or access to the outside world. Those living in poverty often lack adequate nutrition, access to essential services like electricity and clean water, have limited educational opportunities, and receive worse healthcare. But why is all of this happening? Poverty is due to many reasons. The three main ones are resource deprivation, political instability, and environmental factors. Resource deprivation comes in many forms, whether it is the inability to access clean water and food, or lack of education, job opportunities, and basic healthcare. If these basic needs are not met, people and communities cannot function well enough to earn enough money to sustain themselves or escape their situation. This creates a negative cycle where each generation experiences progressively worse living conditions than the previous. Political instability causes conflict, government corruption, and lack of government support. Conflict uses up an unfathomable amount of resources and destroys local infrastructure, forcing communities to evacuate their homes and creating refugees. Government corruption is another aspect of political instability and a contributing factor to poverty. It creates poverty by diverting funds that are meant for public services and development projects into the pockets of corrupt officials. Lack of government support is another aspect of political stability that needs to be addressed. The government has the responsibility of taking care of its people, especially in times of crisis, and if it is unable to, then people would have to rely on themselves to survive, which is often challenging in places where resources are scarce. Finally, the third most important cause of poverty is the environment. If people live in an environment where resources are scarce, it creates poverty, as explained earlier. Factors include climate change as well. Climate change causes natural disasters, crop failure, and other negative impacts on communities. Natural disasters destroy infrastructure and dislocate communities, resulting in both economic and personal loss, exacerbating poverty. Crop failure results in food insecurity, causing a reduction in resources, also leading to poverty. Other negative impacts of climate change include rising temperatures, sea level rise, and many more. Vulnerable communities have a much harder time shielding themselves from these effects of climate change due to lack of resources and funding, resulting in more loss. Now you might wonder, is there any way to help this problem? The answer is yes, although poverty cannot be completely solved because its contributing factors and connected issues will always exist. Ways you can help include donating or directly sponsoring people in need. Whether it is money, food, or clothing, it will help them a lot. Another important way to help is by raising awareness. To minimize the effects of poverty for as many people as possible, a lot of people need to know and care about the issue first. So, share this video and channel with your friends to be the one to make a difference. And as always, thanks for watching.